The age of Aquarius, according to esoteric sources, according to the hidden history of humanity, the spiritual history of humanity. And this is a continuation of a video of mine which describes the astrological ages, which also talks overall about the age of Aquarius. But I want to go more in depth to show you what is to come. And as I explained in my previous videos, each astrological age and each human history age comes with the change of the constellations which rise on the vernal point on the 21st of March. And every 2100 years, a new constellation rises on the eastern horizon on the first day of spring. And each new constellation brings different energy and different level of consciousness to humanity. Don't think that people have the same consciousness and understanding of the world as they have right now. People in the past ages, since the post-Atlantean age, there were 5 ages already. There were 5 ages till now. And at each different age, which lasted about 2,000 years approximately, humans had different consciousness. Most of the time they were psychic. Most of the time they were clairvoyant. They were in touch with the higher dimensions. They were in touch. They could see the other dimensions as well, the invisible worlds. But that was atavistic clairvoyance. And right now we're at the 5th stage. Right now this culture for the past about 2,000 years have been at the 5th stage, which is called, basically it was the age of Pisces. And this was also called the Western, basically the Western civilization. That was the focus of growth from, and this was focused mostly on the development of the age of Pisces was mostly focused on the development of the individuality of a person, of the ability to think for themselves. And now comes the age of Aquarius, which started. Basically, there is no set date for the age of Aquarius to start, but for the next 2,000 years, we'll be getting more and more into the age of Aquarius. And the age of Aquarius is split into 3 stages, which last approximately 700 years each. The first stage, which basically we are already starting this stage. It started from the 20th century and it will be in full swing for 700 years, is the age of Neptune. Basically, what the esoteric sources say is that more and more souls will start incarnating on life in physical body, which carry the higher vibration of Neptune. Everyone has Neptune in their horoscope somewhere, but many people do not resonate at all. That this planet is almost, for many people nowadays still in humanity, they just are not in touch with the Neptunian qualities. And those children that are starting to get born now and for the next 700 years, they will have a very strong Neptune somehow in their horoscope, with strong aspects, maybe in an angle of the horoscope. Just strongly, they have this strong Neptunian. They're also called crystal children, I gather, nowadays. They'll have very strong Neptunian qualities. They're called Neptune Devas, Neptune angelic beings. They're still human beings, but they come now in bigger swarms of incarnation for 700 years. And what does Neptune going to teach us for the next 700 years? These Neptune souls. Neptune is the planet of divine love. Neptune is the planet of unconditional love, of compassion, of feeling another's pain as if it's our own pain. And right now, very few human beings can do this. But over the next 700 years, and by the time this stage, the first stage of Aquarius is finished, the first 700 years, if 700 years from now, almost all of humanity will be able to feel each other's pain. For example, how esoteric sources describe it is that if you are born, say, 500-600 years from now, almost all of humanity, when they see someone hungry, for example, they would immediately feel the hunger as if they're feeling it. If they feel someone is sad, they will feel this sadness and they cannot stop until they help this person. But if they feel something unfair, something painful, someone who is in need, someone who is either in starvation or physical pain or need, the people of the humanity in the next 700 years will learn how to basically, there would be born more and more people who feel others' pain like their own. So in this way, hunger will be eliminated. In this way, unfairness will be eliminated. When you see someone that is suffering, you would not get peace till you help this person. Right now, such people are called highly sensitive persons, but all humans will become more and more like that, and they're classified as dysfunctional nowadays, highly sensitive persons, people with strong Neptune, delusional, too sensitive. Some of them, you know, they are more and more psychic, but they are given what kind of pills now? They're called schizophrenics, they're called too sensitive, unable to cope in the harsh reality. But all humanity is heading in that direction, to start vibrating with the high expression of Neptune. So these will be souls who teach us love and compassion. These will be souls who carry love and compassion for the underdog, for everyone. Neptune is a planet that gives much more than wants to receive. It gives with the sense not to receive back, but with the sense because it feels better when someone feels better, because you're feeling the other's pain. And unless you correct the problem or the pain of the other person, you cannot get rest yourself. So this will be a completely different stage of consciousness in the humans, you know. And these kind of souls, the Neptune souls, are coming right now more and more. And the source, the most souls that will be born with Neptune, you know, the Neptune souls, the Neptune children, they will be mostly centered in the Eastern cultures and in the Slavonic cultures, basically Eastern Europe and the cultures in Asia more, and Russia and all the other Slavic cultures there. This will be the epicenter of this culture of Neptune, of the qualities that Neptune teaches. And Neptune is the planet of art, of music, so more and more souls will be born in those areas and regions who will be highly psychic, because Neptune is psychic, who would be able to feel others' pain, get into others' feelings and thoughts. Neptune is the planet of clairvoyance, who become more and more clairvoyant. Neptune is the planet of spirituality, who will be more and more spiritual, of higher art. Music will become one of the best ways of blossoming for this subculture of the areas of the Aquarius cultural epoch. And music will become bigger and bigger, and especially in the regions of Eastern Europe, in the Eastern European countries, and in the Asian countries. And this is what will heal this gap, this unfeeling part of humanity. We still feel so separated nowadays from each other. But when Neptune is in full swing, within 700 years, everyone will be, almost everyone, the bigger part of humanity, you know, there are always people who lag behind, will feel much more spiritual, will be much more, most of the people in 700 years, by the time, if you get incarnated again, will be born with psychic abilities, will be born with telepathic abilities, with psychic, with clairvoyant abilities, with highly spiritual understanding of the world. So in the next 700 years, the world will realize that the material is not all it is, that there is a spiritual world, and that it's where we come from, and this is that the spiritual world makes everything that happens in our world, that we're just like a reflection, a shadow of what's happening in the spiritual world. So this will become like a given, like a well-known knowledge for everyone within the next 700 years. Spiritualization of humanity and sensitization, becoming compassionate, loving, giving. Okay, and the next batch, let's say, batch of souls that start incarnating in the 700 years after that, but it's not so finely defined, you know, it's not like 700 years and that's it. Now the next type souls start getting born. There'll be like mixture, you know, inflowing a few hundred years in, a few hundred years out. It's just for direction, this kind of separation. The second one, soul groups that will be coming, souls of people with very strong Uranus. These will be the Uranus children. And they'll have some very strong Uranus in their horoscope. And Uranus is the planet of being international. Basically, will be in connection with the other world. Not the other world, but also the invisible worlds, and with the other civilizations. We'll get in touch with them. Uranus is the planet of the internet. You already, and by the way, Uranus rules the whole age of Aquarius. So all this that happens most strongly in the middle part of the age of Aquarius will be happening all throughout the age of Aquarius, which has already started. And you see, with the advent of internet, people interconnected, and then there will be a higher level of interconnectedness with other civilizations, with other beings from out of space, you know, and with the other worlds. We'll have a direct contact with them. and it will be known for everyone. And Uranus is the planet of science, and we've already had since the start of the Aquarian age, 100 years even before that, the boom of technology, the boom of intellectual and technological growth of humanity. The whole, as I say, Uranus rules the whole of age of Uranus. It starts even from the beginning of the age of Aquarius, but is strongest in the middle part. So basically 700 years from now, by that time, science will be used in conjunction with spirituality. Those souls will not use science to create bombs, will not use science for money or stuff like that. Science will be used, for example, to enhance the psychic abilities of people. If you're depressed, the scientists of the Uranus age, of the Aquarius age, especially in the middle, you go somewhere to the doctor, and the doctor will play you some music, or they would put you in a chamber with certain vibration to eradicate your depression, to eradicate any kind of trauma that you've had. Maybe they would work for longevity of the human being, but not through machines only, not in a bio way, not in a more spiritual way, in a sense, by connecting you to the higher realms. All the technology will be focused towards free energy for everyone, will be focused towards increasing the consciousness of humans towards spirituality, increasing the higher vibrations of humans rather than lowering intelligence. So it's all going to be for the good of humanity. And those souls will be mostly born around, the epicenter of this culture will be with a kind of a European center, like the Western Europe. This is where a lot of those souls, like highly intelligent, but intelligent in a wise way, following the cosmic laws and rules to uplift humanity technologically and with knowledge and wisdom. Uranus is the planet of divine wisdom. Neptune is the planet of divine love. So first there is spiritualization of the feelings and the feeling nature of humans, and then there is spiritualization of their mental knowledge, and all intellectual and mental and technological achievements go for the upliftment of humanity, for everyone to have equal rights, for everyone to have equal access to everything, and to and for healing, And then the third batch of souls, they'll be under the influence of Pluto. These will be the Plutonian souls. Pluto is like that. The last 700 years, souls will be born throughout, like a mixture of those, but there will be the biggest concentration around those ages, the last 700s of the age of Aquarius. And the Plutonic souls, Pluto is the planet of will, of higher willpower, God's willpower. These people will have amazing willpower. Nowadays, we think we have willpower. We know that it's wrong, for example, to overeat or to lie. But how many people have the will never to lie? How many people have the will never to hurt or another, never to shout, never to, to cheat or any of the things that are morally wrong, spiritually speaking, that deprive of our connection with the invisible world? Very few, maybe a few saints. By the end of the age of Aquarius, the last 700 years, this is where this will become more and more like a person will have such powerful willpower that when they know that something is wrong, they will just not do it. They'll have a direct connection with God's divine will. So this is God's love, Neptune, divine love. This is divine wisdom and knowledge. This is divine will. So those people, and also what it means that divine will is the ability to focus and create something. And these people will be able to materialize with their mind. They'll be able with their mind. Now some yogis can do this. They can materialize out of nothing, for example, objects, out of the invisible world. They can, congest matter out of light, congest matter and present to you an object. More and more people towards the end of the age of Aquarius will have this ability of powerful will that creates worlds, will that creates material manifestations, because they will be following much more closely God's will. And when your will and God's will becomes one, it means you always follow the spiritual laws, you never do wrong, Then you're given the same power as God is given. I'm not saying we'll become gods, that's far away from us, but we'll have more and more people have the capacity to manifest from the invisible world into the visible. And these people will be focused mostly in the American continent. This will be where this culture flourishes the most. This is where most souls are born like that. Souls of the three types Neptune, Uranus, and Pluto types will be born all over the world, but this will be like the centers of those communities that are thriving. You know, there was examples given what a person who is one of those communities can do. The Pluto people that come, they'll be able, when they imagine something, to focus their mind so strongly, this is what Pluto is, the power of will, that they can materialize in front of you, or they can give you directly into your head the images they are seeing, or even create it in front of you as a picture in the material, in the physical. I know it sounds like impossible, it sounds like some kind of a fairy tale, but this is what esoteric science says, and there are already people who can do this, but they're considered like mythological figures, some yogis in India or some saint somewhere in a forest. But this will become more and more part of everyday humans' abilities. First, the ability to feel compassion, to feel that life is spiritual, that there is a spiritual force, the connection, to feel God's love, the birth of the Christ soul, what it said. This is the second coming of Jesus, as they say. Jesus is not going to come in physical body again. He's going to get incarnated. The Christ particle, the higher consciousness particle of humans, is going to awaken to clairvoyant reality, to the reality of the higher worlds. And then Uranus they will know directly the wisdom of God and use all the knowledge for advancement of humanity technologically. And Pluto, humans with their own will be able to manifest reality. So this is the breakdown of the age of Aquarius. You can rip me apart if you want. You can say it's illogical. This is what ancient sources, this is what esoteric spiritual sources say.